Would you welcome with me Paul Miller as he comes? So give us a little picture into your life, into your story of when, you went from either just not knowing Christ or really going, I'm all in with Jesus here.
Well, it happened about 5 years ago. I think as a kid I always knew who Christ was, but I had never met him. And in the way Christ does, he showed up in a big way by allowing me to see that my marriage was broken. And I was a very self-centered guy. I was very selfish. I did not engage in a loving relationship with my wife. It was me. And the future of our marriage after 15 years came into significant question, and God really showed up for me in a way that I couldn't have ever thought was possible. And began a journey with me that has continued to transform me and will hopefully transform me for the rest of my life until I get to meet him.
How did he show up in that moment?
He just, he basically broke me. And I was, through his grace, allowed the opportunity to change, allowed the opportunity to grow, allowed the opportunity to just become a different man, to seek him first, and just radically allow him to be my filter, and just stepped into a role, especially with Refuge. Just had an opportunity to open myself up with a group of guys that I felt safe with for the first time in my life, and to risk the safety of isolation that I had practiced for decades, and to become part of something that God could not only use me for, but also just to bless me significantly.
Now, talk a little bit about that. So isolation, most of us, we end up there through self-protection, but it feels normal, it feels familiar, and when you go to give yourself away or serve somebody or engage, that feels kind of unsafe, but you're saying in doing that, you actually experience the transformation.
And I still do. We have been blessed with opening our home up, and Christ really is working through that with home community. I've got a group of guys that I meet with every couple of weeks that just continues to allow me to experience grace, forgiveness, realness. We can just be honest with each other and realize that we're not crazy and we're not alone in this, and just allowing God to just kind of continue to work through that, and to just shed some of the lies that I've been led to believe about my sense of self. Yeah,
and you had mentioned that because we see you all over the place, right? Where you're in Refuge, you're back here, you're always, and some people might look at it and go, wow, the church totally got that one on the hook, right?
Yeah.
Like we suckered you into something pretty awesome.
They did.
And what do you say when we see that kind of like, I don't want to get suckered into giving my life away, and yet you're saying that actually was the path to life.
Well, and my tendency is to say bring it, and just he continues to work in me and through me, and I know it can be scary to break out of your safety net, but man, give him an opportunity, because he's so much bigger than any fear that we could have ever had or ever thought we had, and he will do amazing things with our lives if we allow ourselves to be participants in his story for us.
Yeah. How has serving shaped your home, your family?
Wow. I can't imagine a life without this body. Sorry. My wife is now a part of Refuge. She's leading Amending the Soul group, which is an answer to amazing prayers. My oldest daughter is on the information desk. My kids are serving. My kids love to come to church. And I just think there still is anxiety and fear. There still is that spiritual warfare when you have to put yourself out there. But every single time I do, at the end of it, it's just a sense of gratitude and a sense of I'm not doing it for me anymore.
Yeah.
And I just there's power and there's just, I mean, it's amazing in that moment to just be able to give freely, because that's it's not mine to give.
Yeah.
And I want to be a participant in God's plan for me. And for 40 plus years, I was me-centric, and now I really want to be Christ-centric.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.